Hi guys and welcome back. So today I'm really struggling for motivation at the moment. It's kind of, you get to that point in the project when it's just like, you just see what you've got to do, see stuff you don't understand and know what or how to fix, and you just go, oh, I might as well shall I just sell it as a going concern and just buy something that's good to go. I was like that with my Adams family playfield swap. It took me about 7 months to do it because I just kept losing the will to live. But I forced myself out here today. I'm just going to do a little bit, whether that's just cleaning the looms up with a bit of with some wet wipes. You know, it's just another job ticked. We've got Pinball here folded away. I've sold that. So that's leaving us, and a new game is coming in its place, which I shall do a little video on when it arrives. I'm not going to go and collect that one. I'm going to get Martin delivery man to get that for us because it's a bit too far. So yeah, watch this space. Sold Pinbot to a noob, shall we say, a first time buyer, so hopefully he'll enjoy that for many years to come. So yeah, back to the Rocky. I feel like we're coming out of the darkness as far as the weather's concerned. It's just been a long, cold winter from my perspective, especially riding bikes. It's just like Gotham City. It never seems to be light, and it always seems to be freezing cold and raining. So yeah, I feel like spring is in the air, and can't come quick enough because it's so cold and damp in here. The metal I'm polishing is starting to rust, you know. I don't know if you can pick it up on there, but I only polished that about 2 weeks ago and it's gone rusty again. So I'm just desperate to get this room insulated this summer because I don't want these out here for another winter. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to trace these looms, and I'm going to pull this whole board, transformer board, out, hopefully, if there's not too many things. I don't know if I will actually. I'm having a look because nothing's on connectors, it's all soldered on, and I just can't be asked to fiddle around, so I might just have to do it in situ. Yeah, I'll have a think about that. But yeah, that's the next job. Clean up that transformer board, ready for the switch on, because it's been above 8-9 degrees in here now for a week. So I'm starting to feel like we could turn this on in the next week or two if it stays like this. But yeah, be back in a minute. Right, playfield's out. Got some white mould there to tackle at the back there where it's been damp. So yeah, again, I'm just having a wobble here with the enormity of what lies ahead, just because I don't know what I'm doing really. So it's an appeal here to all 2 of you that watch. Hopefully one of you might be able to help. So the drop target banks have got this common purple wire going. I don't understand how they work, but appear to go from a little reset coil onto the switch. Now all of mine, I say all, I've got this 3 bank here where the wires are off. Now I can't determine whether they've been pulled deliberately off or whether they've just vibrated off because of the nature of what they do. And if they have been pulled off, why have they been pulled off? So then on this 5 bank here, you can see they're all off. Again, is it a big coincidence that they're all off? This one, they're still on this 3 bank here. You can, difficult to show you, but this purple wire here, it kind of daisy chains between the switches. But on this 3 bank, the far right switch that hasn't got one at all. I can't even see the wire. So, oh no, it's there. I'm assuming they've been deliberately removed. Again, it could be to do with the board that was toast. Was it locking those coils on and they've just removed them? I don't know. Fun and games, but it's going to be much easier to work on now. The playfield's out. You know, there's corrosion and bits and bobs, but I shall clean them up as best I can. Again, I just don't know what any of these do. I think these might be to do with pop bumpers, but I'm probably wrong. So yeah, I know, I feel a bit overwhelmed at the moment with the enormity of what lies ahead. I'm in a rut. Hopefully I can motivate myself out of it. Yeah, so playfield's out. I shall clean up the rest of that. And the biggest headache for me, so the coin door is obviously not the correct coin door, it's for system 1, so the loom is different. Had the loom on the door, so what I've done is I've just zip tied that away, out of the way. The old coin door had this credit board on it, so it's all been cut about and hacked around, and I don't know when I eventually get this game booting how I'm going to start a game, how I'm going to credit the game up. So again, anyone with a Gottlieb System 80A could send me some pictures of the loom between the loom here and the coin door and what colours go to which switches. Maybe I can hack that back into this coin door credit switches. So yeah, kind of reliant on some other pictures from you guys. The case continues. Right, that's it for today. I've ordered a half decent respirator dust mask so I can get rid of that white mould and clean up the inside of that tomorrow. I'm feeling a bit better about the playfield now. I'm guessing they took those wires off because there was board problems that was causing all kinds of switch issues or coils locking on or firing, because those boards are pretty hacked. So that's my hope, that once I take that all apart, clean it, resolder those wires where they're supposed to go, and get working boards put back in, we shouldn't have any issues. But I guess if we do, we'll just have to deal with them as they crop up. But yeah, until next time, cheers. Right, so I'm just going to tackle that mould. I don't think it's particularly good for you, the old white mould, if I'm not mistaken. So I've picked myself up a little respirator thing here from Screwfix. I'll put that on. I'll give it a hoover to get the dust off, and then I'm going to spray it with a bit of Ronseal mould killer. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Hopefully get rid of that. Right, that's the hang on, turn you around. So I've hoovered that out, I've sprayed the mould killer on there. I'm just going to let that go for a couple of minutes and then wipe that off, and hopefully once we get this in a decent humidity, that shouldn't return. Right, so what I've been doing there is just going around with flash wipes, cleaning off the looms, cleaning all the earth straps because they were filthy, so they just come up quite nicely with a bit of elbow grease. I've decided I'm not going to bother taking these off and polishing them because I just don't see the point. If they look nice and shiny, who cares? Who's ever going to see them? So is it, I just employ like a risk reward sort of mentality. Is 2 hours of my life taking that apart getting them polished up and put back on worth the reward of it. If it was a mint restore with a newly stenciled cabinet and a fresh playfield, 100%. But this is always going to be a player's machine at best, due to the state of the playfield and the cabinet. So I'm just pissing into the wind if I do that. So it's clean and tidy. I've demoulded that. It smells like in the nicest possible way, a clean public toilet. Hopefully that'll air and smell okay. But yeah, almost done with that. Like, so I've got a new line filter coming to replace that. I mean, that's probably fine, but I'll stick a new one on there anyway because that is 38 years old. Replace that cap, that orange one. And I might try switching it on as is actually, with everything disconnected, and just see what blows up. But they will be replaced before I start playing it properly. Right, I've dragged Rocky out into the sunny spot for the sun to dry that out. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to strip just metal bits off like this, clean it up and throw it in the tumbler. And then I'm going to start dismantling flipper mechs, drop target banks, etc. Cleaning those up, making sure they're wired correctly, stick some new diodes on everywhere just in case they've had it. Because the boards are now off in the post, so theoretically they could be back within a couple of weeks and we could be ready to flip it. It's a scary thought, if I can figure out how to credit it up, that is. Okay, onto the playfield, or the underside. So I've removed one of the flipper mechs. A lot more engineered than the ones I'm used to on Williams. So they're covered in grease. I find that on the older games that people thought it was a good idea to use a lubricant on these things, which we all know you shouldn't. So I've basically sprayed a bit of gunk engine degreaser all over those parts to sort of get working. Then in the ultrasonic cleaner I've poured some oil and grease remover, which is like a driveway cleaner from Swarthega. I'll dilute that with some hot water and sit that in there and let it do its thing. Right, so pop that into there. Oh, look at that. Ouch. Put the lid on. So look what they come out like. Okay, so they're out the, what do you call it, ultrasonic cleaner, and I'm really pleased with that. I'm all for changing things that need changing, but that has come up lovely. There doesn't appear to be any wear at all on those bushings. So they're an expensive thing, the flipper rebuilds. It's about 60 quid for a pair, and there's 5 flippers on this game, so you do the math. So happy with that. Again, all these bushings here, there's no cracks, splits, just like new really, nice and clean in there. So yeah, really happy with that. I've got new flipper tops, so I'm not going to put that whole thing back on. So yeah, happy days. I'll reassemble that and then do the other 4. I won't bore you with those ones. Okay, the other one's back together. This one's in a very similar state to the last one. I don't know if I did a comparison, but you can see that that is just gunked up to hell with grease and shit. So that's what it was looking like. The end stops, they're good. There's no damage or mushrooming on that. That's the coil sleeve. It is nice and free, so if I've got any of this size I'll put a new one in, if not I'll just clean it up. But the other one came up right new, so I'm going to hit the metal wire brush on that, and then ultrasonic clean it. Glorious day today. Tripping over stuff, sorry. Okay, so overnight I've just let these coils wrappers dry off again. So I'm just going to get them on the bench, and I'm going to just desolder all of that old solder, take that diode off and put a fresh one on just in case, and just tidy those tabs up so when I go to put the new wires on I'll make my life a little easier. So I've done two of the mechs now are cleaned, so I'll do those, put those back on so I can keep track and not get overwhelmed with bits off the machine, and then I'll do the other two, and then slowly things start to get done. I'll be onto the drop targets, and then then the pop bumpers and any little scoops and mechs that need to come apart and be cleaned.
Slightly annoying with these solder suckers. Clogs up immediately, but quite satisfying when you pull that out in one go. Yeah, quite a lot of solder on there really. I've experimented with a couple of different suckers, and I find this one the best with the flexible nozzle. It's just an eBay jobby. Slightly more expensive than the plastic silver line ones, but it's a good sort of alloy. So I just first of all just tin the tip. It just helps the solder flow a bit better. Because sometimes this old solder can take quite a lot of heating to get it softened up. Yeah, you get the idea. I'll show you when it's done.
Okay, so there you can see the holes are all nicely cleaned up, so when I come to attach the new wires it's just a lot cleaner process, and you can see there that's all of the old solder that came off. There's loads there. So that just makes life a little easier when I'm reassembling. Okay, while I've got it out, I'm also going to check the resistance is in spec for what the manual says it should be. So this is a Gottlieb A20095, and according to the good book, A20095 is a super flipper, and its resistance is 1.55 ohms or 35.5 ohms. Now, I have no idea about electronics at all. GCSE maths, I got an F. I could just about add up single figures in my head. That's where we're at with me. So I don't know what those figures mean, but all I know is I'm going to prod around with the probes of a multimeter and hopefully get one of those two readings on my screen, and if I do, I'm gonna call it good. So my weapon of choice is a Fluke 101. I think this is a real base entry, the cheapest Fluke you can get. Before I had some real cheapo thing that was a bit of a lottery, so Fluke are probably one of the best makes you can get as far as metering goes. This is just a cheap entry level. I think it was about 50 or 60 quid a couple of years ago, and it gets me by. So it's got a continuity beep on it, so it's on ohms, and I'm just going to prod around now on these tabs until I get a reading that resembles that in the manual. Right, so with the black prong on the left hand tab and the red one in the middle, I'm getting 34.4, well, one of those readings is 35.5, so I'm guessing that's in spec. If I try it the other way around, 2.6, 2.2, 2.1. One of the other readings is 1.55. I'm now going to try it another way around. Again, 34.7, so no real difference there. Same readings. So Gazonomics says that that is in spec. I'm happy. I don't know if you can see, but the coil on the left is the same value, but it seems a lot fatter, puffed out. I don't know if you can get that. And the readings on that coil are correct. The readings on that coil seem a bit low, so I'm getting bang on 35.5 ohms of resistance, which is what the manual says. This one's about 28, 29. So I don't know whether that's good or bad or within spec or not, because I have no knowledge. So I'll put that out to tender. Is that good or is that bad? Right, that's the first two flippers back on, rewired, good to go. I won't bore you with the process for the other three. I'll see you at the drop targets.